Imagine earning millions of euros every single year, driving luxury cars worth more than most mansions, and living surrounded by comfort, fame, and absolute exclusivity. This is the life many believe Ousmane Dembélé lives, a football star admired for his speed, skill, and rise through some of the biggest clubs in Europe. But is everything really as perfect as it seems? While fans around the world know him for his explosive dribbles and breathtaking plays, very few truly know who he is off the pitch. Some claim he lives a quiet, humble life. Others insist he spends like a king and embraces the full extravagance of his wealth. So what is the real story behind his luxurious lifestyle? What does Dembélé do with his fortune when the cameras are off? Get ready, because in this video, we're going to uncover the truth hidden behind the spotlight, and by the end, you'll see a side of Dembélé that few have ever witnessed. But before we dive deep into the secrets and surprises, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because what you're about to discover might just change the way you see one of football's most mysterious stars. He arrived with the weight of expectations on his shoulders, carrying not just a record-breaking transfer fee, but also the dreams of millions of fans. Ousmane Dembélé was supposed to be the future of Barcelona, the heir to a legacy of greatness. But almost as soon as he stepped into the spotlight, reality hit hard. In one of his very first games, he suffered a devastating hamstring injury, one that would sideline him for 5 long months. It wasn't just a physical setback. It was a brutal interruption during what should have been the most important moment of adaptation in his career. When he returned to the pitch, the pressure was greater, the eyes more critical, and the expectations even higher. But rhythm and confidence don't come overnight. It took time and patience. Slowly but surely, he began to show glimpses of the magic that had made Europe fall in love with him at Borussia Dortmund. The 2018-2019 season became a turning point. 14 goals, 9 assists, and a solid contribution to Barcelona's triumphs in both La Liga and the Copa del Rey. But even then, the questions didn't stop. Why couldn't he stay consistent? Why did injuries always seem to find him? And it wasn't just what happened on the field that stirred controversy. Off the pitch, whispers turned into headlines. Missed training sessions, discipline issues, rumors about video games, late nights, and a lifestyle that didn't reflect the professionalism expected at one of the world's biggest clubs. The criticism was loud and constant. Barcelona didn't give up on him. They brought in specialists to help him build structure in his personal life, to turn talent into reliability. It wasn't instant, but little by little, he began to grow. He matured. He became someone the team could count on. And then came 2021. Under the leadership of Xavi Hernandez, a coach who believed in him when many others doubted, Dembélé finally started to look like the star he was always meant to be. Xavi gave him freedom, trust, and a tactical role that fit him like a glove. That season, Dembélé led La Liga in assists with 13 decisive passes, becoming a key part of Barcelona's national title win. It felt like a resurrection, a rebirth. But just when things seemed to be falling into place, new challenges emerged. Contract negotiations dragged on, Barcelona's financial struggles grew more intense. And in August 2023, a new chapter began. Dembélé left Spain and returned to his roots, signing a 5-year deal with Paris Saint-Germain. His arrival in Paris wasn't quiet. The club was going through a major transition, having just lost Lionel Messi and facing the uncertainty of Kylian Mbappe's future. For many, Dembélé wasn't just another signing. He was a potential savior, a symbol of what PSG could become in this new era. The beginning was rocky. He struggled with finishing, the pressure was suffocating. But then, something changed. From January 2024 onward, he stepped up, big time. He began delivering performances that stunned even his harshest critics. And in the first 2 months of 2025, January and February, he scored a jaw-dropping 17 goals, matching a club record previously held by none other than Lionel Messi himself. It was a statement, not just to PSG fans, not just to Barcelona, but to the entire football world. So now, the question remains, is this finally the era of Ousmane Dembélé, or are we witnessing a fleeting spark before another storm? Tell us what you think. Is Dembélé living up to his potential, or is there still more to prove? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. There was a time when finishing wasn't exactly Ousmane Dembélé's strongest weapon. He dazzled with his dribbling, amazed with his speed, but when it came time to put the ball in the net, something often fell short. That, however, has changed dramatically. At Paris Saint-Germain, far from the shadow of constant criticism he faced in Barcelona, Dembélé found the space he needed to evolve, not just as a winger, but as a complete forward. In the final third, he's become sharper, colder, more dangerous. The kind of player that defenders can't take their eyes off, because a single mistake could cost everything. In Paris, he's no longer just the talented but inconsistent figure. He's become a key part of the team's identity. The PSG jersey seems to fit him better, not just physically, but mentally. His versatility across the attacking line gives the coach tactical flexibility, and his signature dribbling remains one of the most unpredictable weapons in world football. But the real change, it's in his mindset. Gone is the young man distracted by outside noise, arriving late to training surrounded by rumors. In his place stands a more grounded, focused professional, someone who finally seems to understand what it takes to be great consistently, not just occasionally. And that maturity hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans see it, teammates feel it, coaches trust it. Parallel to his club success, Dembélé has built a quiet but strong presence with the French national team. First called up in 2016, he was part of the golden squad that lifted the World Cup in 2018. His role may have been more limited, but it was a step into history. 4 years later, in the 2022 World Cup, he returned, this time as a starter, and helped guide France to the final once again. While not every performance was perfect, coach Didier Deschamps never stopped believing in him. For Deschamps, Dembélé has always been more than a spark. He's a trusted piece of a bigger puzzle. Off the pitch, life has also shifted. In December 2021, Dembélé married Rima Edbouche, a Moroccan influencer known for her vibrant personality and active presence on social media. Their wedding followed traditional Moroccan customs and was celebrated in France, honoring both culture and connection. Less than a year later, in September 2022, the couple welcomed their first child, a daughter who, by all signs, brought a new sense of joy and stability to Dembélé's life. Fatherhood changed him, in the best way. And then there's his other passion, cars. Dembélé's taste in vehicles speaks volumes. Among his standout toys is the Bentley Bentayga Mansory, a beast of a luxury SUV that blends performance, class and exclusivity like few others can. Already one of Bentley's most elite models, Dembélé'S version features a custom Mansory upgrade, giving it even more power and a design tailored for absolute luxury. With a 6.0-litre W12 engine, this machine generates 608 horsepower and a massive 900 Nm of torque, launching from 0 to 100 km/h in just 4.1 seconds and hitting top speeds of over 300 km/h. Inside, leather seats of the finest grade, polished wood details, and a cutting-edge tech system that turns every drive into a first-class experience. Depending on customizations, this car can reach prices above $260,000. And Dembélé's version? Definitely top tier. But just when fans thought they had his style all figured out, he surprised everyone. Not long ago, a video went viral showing Dembélé arriving at PSG's training facility, not in a supercar, not in an elite SUV, but in a humble Mercedes-Benz van. The internet lit up. Why a van? Was it a joke? A new sponsorship? Theories spread fast. Some fans saw it as a move of practicality. Maybe he needed space, maybe he was transporting something. Others believed it was a sign of a new Dembélé, one who values comfort, privacy, or maybe just doesn't feel the need to flex his wealth anymore. But what do you think? Is Dembélé showing a new, more mature version of himself, both on and off the pitch? Or is he simply unpredictable, just like his football? Let us know in the comments. Has Dembélé finally become the player and the man the world always hoped he would be? No matter the reason, whether it's his unpredictability, his quiet charisma, or simply the raw talent he brings to the pitch, one thing is certain: Ousmane Dembélé never stops attracting attention. But while most people focus on his moves on the field, there's another side to his story that's just as fascinating: the life he's built behind the scenes. Over the years, Dembélé has quietly amassed a fortune that places him among the highest paid players in modern football. And it's not just his salary that makes headlines. Beyond the pitch, Dembélé has become a powerful commercial figure, earning serious money through sponsorships and advertising deals. One of his most important partnerships is with Adidas, one of the world's top sportswear giants, who now supplies his boots and athletic gear. Interestingly, he wasn't always an Adidas athlete. He originally wore Nike, but his switch to Adidas wasn't just about changing shoes. It was a strategic move that boosted his market value. Joining the ranks of elite Adidas-sponsored athletes brought him more visibility, more global reach, and of course more income. But sponsorships are just one part of the puzzle. At Barcelona, his contract included several performance-based bonuses, incentives tied to titles like La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Spanish Super Cup. Every victory didn't just build his legacy, it added to his bank account. At PSG, his deal goes even further. His current contract includes financial rewards based on both individual